Hello world! Welcome to Code or Not to Code. I'm Mili Eva, and as always, I'm really happy to be here today. And I'm here with Stefan. How are you doing?
I am doing great. My
Yes.
left hand hurts a little bit, and it's super
Yeah,
hot, but
you did a good deed today.
it's good to be back. Blood for the blood god.
Yeah. Some offerings. That's awesome. Well, if you're new to the show, the two of us meet every other week and work on our .NET tool. I'm pretty new to this entire thing. This is the first .NET tool I've ever built, whereas Stefan has a lot of experience and usually saves the day. So don't worry, whether you're new to this or like a senior like Stefan. Senior in the sense of experience, not in the sense of age. I'm sure
However,
we'll be able.
both expressions evaluate to true.
That's not true. No, I don't
Yes, it
believe it.
is. Yes,
Aw. Yeah, but if you're old now, what are you going to say in 10, 15 years? I mean,
I
what are you then?
older, I suppose.
Older, exactly. Okay, fair enough. That's fair enough. We have loads of episodes on our YouTube channel as well about the kind of functionalities that we've already implemented in our tool. We've been working with using directives. We've been working with experimental interceptors, and we're currently working on a new functionality that has to do with nullable warnings. We'll get more into that later. But yeah, here you've got our GitHub page as well, and there are loads of little social media channels too. So if you're interested in following us, keeping up with our content, our upcoming shows and guests, and just general stuff, or want to reach out with comments, questions, suggestions, anything like that, give us a follow, and we'd love to hear from you. I also on the show, if you're a regular, you know this, we keep making promises, and we also like to keep them. Today, we're going to keep another one of those promises, which has to do with the IDE that we're using. But I think, are we going into that right now? Are you?
Not
Oh no,
quite.
not
Not
quite.
quite.
We
For
have a little
a little bit of trivia about
trivia before.
null.
Yes.
A little bit of trivia about what is, well, I guess that gets a little bit philosophical. What is a null check?
Yes.
So let's suppose we have some type. Let's just do an object here. We have an instance. We pass this into our method in our my class. We have a my method. This will be, let's say, is null. So we do a null check in here, and we would return if this instance equals to null. Now, when that returns Boolean, of course. So this is indeed a null check. But what if we say, hey, let's do a my record instead, and we declare ourselves a record type. Oops, my record. It's just an empty type. This is basically how you can, with C# 13, also declare type. You don't need a body or even an empty body anymore. It's like a minimal type. Well, actually, this would be just a class or struct would be a minimal type. It doesn't have any fields, any methods. If we do a record, we do get a lot out of record. Per default, a record is a record class. We could also write record struct, and we get a record struct. If it's a struct, we also additionally may want to make it read-only. Most of the structs are read-only, but this is actually not where I'm digressing. So let's have a record class here, and with a record, we get a lot of functionality out of the box. A record class also implements the iEquality interface, so we get we override the equals method on object, but also get a typed. So this is on object, but we also get a typed equals method that then checks, hey, is this instance equals to the other? And if not, is the other null? And then doing some equality contract. And if we had any fields, let's say we also add into number, then we also check against these fields in this overloaded both inequality and equality operators. Now, for the sake of this example, just an empty type is fine. Now, this is no longer a null. Practically, it's a null check. Technically speaking, this is no longer a null check. What I had to think about when I always see this, I have to think about the image of René Margit, if I pronounce it correctly. please apologize to a French speaker. Mon français est très mauvais. Je ne parle pas français, but there is the image of ceci n'est pas une pipe, saying, okay, well, this is a picture showing a pipe, but it isn't a pipe. It's a picture of a pipe. So I always need to think of this thing. And although it looks like a null check, it really isn't a null check. So ceci n'est pas une vérification nulle. I had to prepare for this for way too long.
I love it. Well done. I don't speak a word of French. Je ne sais pas. I think that means I don't know.
Yeah,
and that's all I know.
So too. And I guess je m'appelle.
What's
no?
that? No, I've
My
never
name
had
is
like.
Je m'appelle Stefan. My name is Stefan.
Je m'appelle
Yeah,
Eva.
Now I'm gonna out myself. I had French for 6 years.
Oh
In a
wow.
school that only has 5 years, so I had to repeat the class because of my French, because it's really très mauvais.
That's a great sentence. So. Oh my god. Yeah, we only had English and Latin, so that was awesome. Yes, Alia Jacta. Yes.
What's
Oh,
Alia
sunt.
Jacta?
Oh no, I don't even know that one. I haven't prepared for this, as you can see. It means what's dice? The dice have fallen.
Ooh,
Fate has been decided.
cool.
I know, and I couldn't even do that. I'm going to Google the quote now.
I think the only known in Latin is I.E, which is id est, I think. And what is ig? Exempli gratii, something like this. What does ig stand for? Exempli gratii. E.G. Latin. Exempli gratia. Gratia? I don't know.
Well, it's a dead language, so actually you can pronounce it whichever way you like.
Cool.
Some people say like the stuff that the Pope is like is speaking is sort of like the correct one because they're the only people who actually use it still. But technically, it is a dead language, so everything goes.
Okay, we digressed a little. What is not a dead language is C#. Actually, the next version is coming out in C#. Is it 14 already? It's coming out with .NET 8, .NET 9, or in 2 months? Or is it C# 13? I totally. No, C# 13. .NET. Which C#? Oh, I totally missed. What's coming up? .NET. Oops.
Now you're confusing me as well.
Now I'm confused myself. Which language is coming up? Is it 13 that's coming up?
Which language are we speaking?
Was it 14?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, apparently Parents Collection. Okay, yeah. C# 13 is coming up with .NET.
Yeah, okay.
.NET 7, .NET 9. There we go. We are .NET 8 coming. Oh my God. It's too hot, I suppose. Yes, thank you so much, Stuart. It's C# 13 that's coming up. I'm mixing up the numbers.
Oh my goodness. What a great start. I love it. Yes, it's way too warm in my room as well. I can't think. I can't even do Latin quotes or French or nothing.
French. Yes, French. Ceci n'est pas une vérification nulle because it's an equality check. Well, we check for equality with null, but what that does is now actually going into the equality operator that is implemented, and then in the implementation of the equality operator, doing the null check then essentially here, because here we actually see we cast one of these objects to object. The object also has the equality operators, but they will actually do reference equality. And if the right-hand side as here is null, then this is really a null. This is a pure null check, and we can also see that if we go to IL. If I do the same thing here, casting this left-hand side instance to object, so that we no longer use the equality operator that is declared on the record type, but actually the one from object, which does reference equality. We see that, if I already went over it, haven't I? There we go. This is our method, isn't it? Yes, there it is. Our isNull method. And here we load argument 1, which is the left-hand side, we load null, which is this, and then we do an equals check. And I think this then, on the stack pushes if value 1 equals 2, pushes 1, otherwise 0. So this is a pure of a null check as it can be. So this here is really a null check. Or if we don't want to cast this down to object, we can also use pattern matching and say is null. And even though we don't do any casting, and even though we do have equality operators overloaded on the record implicitly, also if it's a custom type, we could explicitly overload these operators ourselves. And even if those operators are overloaded, hopefully implemented correctly, that sooner or later these operators actually do a proper null check. But we circumvent this going into the equality operator, we're actually doing the pure null check here, which is, from performance perspective, ever so slightly faster. I think we are in the sub-nanoseconds area. It's barely measurable, but still a little bit faster.
Do you know that because you've tried it, you've benchmarked it, or is that?
Oh, yeah.
Did you read that?
Yeah, I did.
Did you?
I even have a talk
I
about
love
it. I'm outing myself. I guess it's my guilty pleasure.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware.
I think I pushed this somewhere. Nitpicking is my guilty pleasure, I suppose. Yeah. Resources, null check benchmarks. Yeah. So if we do where is it? So I compared like all, because there's many ways you can compare. You can also do like the dot using the dot equals that you get from either from the object equals, or also you can use the static object equals. You can also use the equality comparer. So there's many ways you can check for null. We see all of them they're all 0 point something nanoseconds. So this is petite. But if we do the record null check, that's 0.2 nanoseconds, and like casting it to object is 0.0072. So yeah, barely measurable. This will not show in your hot path somehow. But still, this shows that there is a difference. It's actually it's more than just a null check.
I love it.
So I guess enough of the nitpicking, yeah.
Interesting. I've never used that though, like the object of record is.
Excuse me?
I've never. I think when I do null checks, I always do this.
Yeah, you wouldn't do that. No.
I've not done that before. Yeah.
Well, maybe earlier, if you do like this sub-nanosecond optimization, but now with modern versions of the language, you just write is null, or vice versa, is not null, and you have the same thing, and it also reads super nicely.
So, yeah, it reads pretty nicely.
This is indisputably, both in IL and in C#, indisputably a null check.
Nice. Yeah. Have you ever had, I mean, back to languages, and this might be a super stupid comment, but because we're speaking about languages, different languages, and both of us speak German, and you probably haven't had that in a while, but me sort of trying to pair program with German-speaking developers is really funny, because 0 in German is null, which is the same as null. So sometimes people thought I was really stupid because saying the wrong thing, but I was saying the right thing. I mean, not that stupid. It's still like 0 and null, and I guess they got it in the end. But it can be confusing. Has that ever happened to you? No, probably not.
Not sure. Well, I think lately,
yeah,
there is not a lot of German in my programming recent, because I'm usually with international teams for the last years. I can remember more or less. So I can definitely imagine it happen at some point. Yeah, null. Well, I guess what happens to me all of the time, I mix up null and O, uppercase O. So I appreciate fonts that either do a little dot or some strike through to differentiate. This is what I confuse myself all the time.
Yeah. No, obviously, like if you're writing yourself, I guess it doesn't get confusing. But if you're speaking, if you like pair programming or explaining something or trying to sort of like work it out,
null.
And then null,
Nicht null,
really
null.
Annoying. Yeah, I know.
I can imagine.
Exactly it.
I can imagine. Yeah, yeah, null, 9, null.
Correct. Absolutely. I'm getting
Is not
flashbacks.
0. This should work if it's a number, because pattern matching is pretty cool. And this then, I guess, is not equal to, if we compile that back. Yeah. So this would also work with the modern language. I think C#9 is the
Would
not. I
work,
think
but
we
it's a
did
different
C#9.
check.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't check for numbers with this syntax.
But
I would
you're
actually
also
do
not, like I'm
like
saying,
so.
when you start out with coding and building calculators and doing little things like that, or like I did like a sorting algorithm, or like, when you do the baby stuff that I do.
Well, we all start somewhere.
Then
And I guess
it sometimes makes a difference.
And even later, the baby stuff is still there all the time. The basic stuff.
It is. I did do like a baby exercise the other day, and I failed, and I was so embarrassed. I was like, I did this course like 2 years ago. What? How is this still difficult? But it can be. It can be. Sometimes it's tricky, especially if it's warm and summer.
Oh, yes.
And you can't think. But yeah, okay, cool. Enough talking about languages. Back to the promise that we said we'd keep last time is we're going to try a new IDE, namely Rider, it's preview. What's it called?
The EAP, the early access preview.
EAP, early access preview of Code with Me.
Rider 24.2, yeah, also has that's double the preview. So Rider is in preview, and it contains a Code with Me as a beta, I think, or is it also preview? I'm not sure how they title it, but yeah, none of which highly experimental, like double experimental. What we do today.
highly experimental. And yeah, for those of you who are new to the show, we like to have like sort of like a pair programming situation going on, so that we can sort of like work on the same file at the same time. It's really, really useful any day at any point when Stefan and I are working together, but especially on a stream. The issue is that most IDEs don't really, like most IDEs who offer that, they don't really work, or there are loads of like issues that we have been facing with doing that. Most of the time, like the entire program just crashed, or we had I don't know we had issues with like following each other into the correct files. We've had issues with tests, and we've been working with Fleet, I think, for the last couple of episodes. We've been quite happy with that. Again, we've faced some issues with like following, but we also faced some issues because none of us really knew Fleet before. So like shortcuts and stuff were really, really tricky for us. And I think Stefan and I we work with Rider a little bit more, so shortcuts would be a little bit easier.
Oh, yeah.
And so we've been really, really looking forward to Code with Me for a while now, actually.
Oh, yes.
So we promised we'd try it. Yeah.
So let's see how good it works already. And let's connect to this one. Yes. So what we did last time is we added a new command to our tool. If we print --help, we'll see we can do not what I hoped it would. Oh, I forgot a double dash. So this is how we can. Should I zoom in more? 200%. So here we have .NET Run, and then then you do a double dash space, and after the double dash space, everything that you will send then will be sent to the application that you run, so to our application, and our application can now do --help. And we see the new command that we added last time, the nullable command.
Nice.
And the nullable command now also has followed by Eva. Do you see that? No.
Yes.
Can't see.
No, I can't see it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not yet.
I mean, I said yes because I'm watching on the stream.
Yeah.
I can't see it in my ID, no.
And we implemented a report that enables your project. Let's actually jump to our nullable reporter that sets the language version to C#8, and then it compiles it. And then we get all of the nullable diagnostics out of it. So we would basically do a what if. How many nullable warnings would you get if you enable nullable reference types for your project? And now we would like to facilitate the actual migration stories. When we go to the documentation, there is documentation about the nullable reference types, and there's documentation about nullable reference migrations. So how do you, well, usually when you create a new project, per default, what you get in all of the templates, they all have nullable enabled. That enables actually two contexts, the nullable warnings context and the nullable annotations context. We talked about this, I think, 3 episodes ago. So the nullable annotations context is basically everywhere where you set the question mark, then in the compiled IL code, then there's some properties there and attributes the code so that consumers know, hey, this method may accept null or may not accept null, so that they can get warnings. And yeah, the other context is a nullable warning context that spits out warnings if you violate any of the previously created null annotations. And if you do enable, then this enables those two contexts in each and every document of this project. But if we have an existing project, if we created that beforehand and we didn't have that, now, well, there is a question mark only on value types. We also saw in a previous episode the vast difference between nullable reference type and nullable value type. So nullable value types existed. Did they exist forever? Or only for a long time? Well, we can find out. There's a wonderful site, APIs.net, which is an API browser. We can search for system.nullable_t. Oh, those generics are not supported. Okay. And we see this is since .NET Framework 2. Okay.
Wow.
For a long
time. Not bad.
And this is what the struct or int question mark, for example, is actually. But if we have a reference type like string question mark, there we add then annotations to it. So the actual string won't change. We just get additional annotations where we then may have warnings on the consumer end. And yeah, it's all the code bases when this feature in C# 8 was introduced didn't have this enabled. So now they may enable this later on. Actually, in my work, we just recently moved the project from .NET Framework to a big project from .NET Framework to .NET 8. And now they would also like to think, the team also would like to think about enabling nullable reference types. But it's a huge code base. So you can't do this in a day or in one commit. So you need to do this step by step. And this is where then those different migration paths come in. Excuse me?
Where a tool comes in, right? They can use
yes, indeed. So the .NET team is recommending 4 possible solutions how to adopt nullability step by step. 2 of which we will think about automating, maybe take a look at the other 2 later on as well. So one step is nullable disable as a default, which is the default anyway, so you don't really change your project, or you explicitly set your project to disable, which is the same as not having it all together, to signal, okay, eventually this should be enabled, but currently consciously disabled. And then step by step, you go to each and every document and you start annotating your code. Do we actually have something with null? Not sure, but then you go to your document and say, hey, I want to enable this on this document, nullable enable. Wait.
Oh.
Nullable enable. Nice. And then you may get some warnings, then you fix them, and you also now annotate your code. Maybe you meant this string message to be optional, actually. Then you can add a question mark here. Then we get a warning there because the backend collection should also signify that this may be null here. And also now we get it here, so the output should also signify, okay, that this, so that the consumer knows this message may be null. And I guess we should do that here as well. And now we
But we didn't get a warning, right? At the end, the last one?
There was no warning here, indeed. because get enumerator. Oh, this enumerator is a struct. And the nullable story on structs is a little bit different than on classes. The thing is, on a class, you can actually prevent from being null initialized. You can, if you go to SharpLab, I'll create public my class. And let's say I want to, whenever I initialize, let's say I have a string in here, private string, just any string, doesn't matter. So we have a field here. And well, what we get per default is if we don't write anything, what we get implicitly is a default constructor that more or less, null. Per default, this will be null initialized. Therefore, we get a warning here. So we should write question mark here. And now we could var it's my class let's see, equals new. If I could type, there we go. We basically call this default constructor. If I don't, but it's so this is also if we don't write an empty constructor by default, then this is basically what you get. We always have this default constructor by default, unless we specify our own constructor. And let's say we now create our own constructor that takes a string text and then sets it to this underlying field. Now we actually have not true text. Now we have ensured that this field never will be null. Now I can actually remove this question mark because there is no default constructor anymore. We can ensure that if there is an instance of this class, this string will be initialized. We can even set it to read only to promise it's initialized, will always not be null. And if we had a getter, public, oops, not pubic, that's embarrassing. Field.
I didn't even read it. No, I didn't even see it until you said it.
Well, I really have to initialize with something. Well, if I do null in here, then we get a warning there and saying, hey, the contract says not null, you're doing something funky here. So let's put in something not null. We don't have a warning here, and we can safely do I dot. Well, let's call this property actually, to be explicit. What that is, we can call property, no warnings here, everything is good, and we can safely dereference it dot length. Now, if we turn this into a struct, we can still do the new thing. Because a struct always has a default constructor. Now, well, what we could do is say, okay, let's now add this default constructor explicitly, and let's set it to something. Let's say field equals empty string. Okay, not null. Yeah, okay, great. Promise still fulfilled. Let me actually grab this code and change to a 1 instead. Paste it here so that we can actually run it and see nullable problems. No, all is good. We can actually get the length of the property. Let's do a console.writeLine and we see, oops. Okay, all is good. 0 length because we actually call the default constructor. Now we had to explicitly specify. If we don't do this on a struct, there always will be a default constructor. Now, what the default constructor does, will set this field to null. So we actually have this now be null, but we don't get a warning because what you can also do with structs, you can say default. And this is even if you had a default constructor. Now, going back to the story that worked, we called the default constructor, explicitly set our default constructor, or declare our default constructor, and set this field to something not null. Everything is good, but we can even, every time we have a structure, can do default, which again will not call this empty default constructor, but just create a new instance of the struct, null initializing every field. So if we have integer that's 0, if we have reference types, they will be null. And so you can't really, it would have been a lot of warnings. This is why the team said for structs, because of this implicit default that you can do, this nullability store is a little bit different. So basically what we would need is, even if we set it here via that, which is basically the same, if we remove that, which is basically the same if having as if we just call new, if we initialize it directly. Oh, this is null too. I did not know that. I thought we at least had this initialized here. Cool, okay. I thought this would be cool now. Yeah, but the example I want to show. Obviously still need to learn about structs as well. But yeah, if you have default, everything will be null initialized. So this field will be null. And therefore, you don't get any warnings. You don't always get warnings where there's struct involved due to this implicit default that would be very noisy when it comes to nullable warnings. So when it comes to structs, then you need to design them more. Definitely keeping that in mind, that your reference types may always be null, because you can always default zero initialize a struct. Yes, and now we get the warning if we properly assert it. And I think this is why we don't get the warning here, because this is actually a struct-based enumerator. Could also have been a class-based enumerator, and I think then we would have gotten the error. And yeah, so we need to explicitly state it. Long story short, I think this is the reason why we didn't get the warning. I'm actually not 100% sure, because there's a lot about structs that I don't really understand.
Okay, fair enough, but it sounds reasonable to me. So I'll believe you.
I'm not sure if I believe myself, but
that's okay.
But this is how so we manually now basically first saw, did we have any warnings? And if we do fix the warnings, and then we annotate our code according to how we intended this type, because maybe we had in our documentation, when we add, like we have some documentation and ID is required. Oh, that's funky. I always jump to your cursor.
But I'm sorry.
No, because the thing is your cursor, right? Can I force?
I think I just followed your cursor.
Yeah. Would you mind stopping the following? Because I seem to always jump to your cursor. Oh, okay.
I'll go away.
Sorry. Because it seems that when I started typing, I jumped to your cursor, but I wasn't following you.
It kept jumping up and down.
So because in the documentation could have said ID is required, but the message is optional. And now, even without looking at the documentation, we can state that via the nullable annotations. That this message, maybe now. So the consumer knows this, maybe now, because the caller may not have added it. And then we do this, and this was just one file. If we have a million files, then we do this a million more times. And well, we could enable first the warnings to first fix all the warnings, and then, well, now we get a warning here because we annotated our code, although we haven't enabled annotations yet. So we could first enable all the warnings, and then in a second step, go enable also the annotations. If we want both, we just say enable, and then add all the question marks. So we could also do this, not only do this on a document per document level, but also on a kind level. First the warnings, then the annotations.
Wait. But what would be the benefit of having just the warnings without the?
Just the warnings, so that we
without the annotations.
If we were using libraries that are annotated, like the BCL, and we were, for example, can I think of something? Let's say we are using type. So we have just some type information from somewhere. Just drawing an example, type of this nullability report. Let's say we just have some type, and we do some reflection code, and we want to get the base type of it. Base type is annotated with null because it's nullable. Because if we are on, eventually if we are an object, object is the root of the top of the hierarchy. object doesn't have a base type. Every
Okay.
class we have that is not derived has implicitly object as a base type. So we can do base type, base type, base type, but if we object, but if we are at object and do base type, then we get null. So this is why base type is actually annotated null. And if we're invoking anything, like let's get the name of this base type now, well, this could be null if we are an object, or if this current type doesn't have a base type anymore. And maybe we use this in our code. Then we could first fix our code to basically fix because perhaps we didn't do a null check here. And now we actually unveiled, hey, maybe if it could be that this could be object, could we actually run into a null check problem here? If we don't, if we say, hey, our code, we actually do type of nullability report and check the base type, which in this case will be object, so everything is fine, we could say, okay, it's all good, let's ignore it. Or we could also do a debug.assert that confirms that type.baseType is not null. Warning disappears, and now we asserted it. So first we fix all the warnings, and then later on, a second step, we now think about our consumers to communicate the intent to them in the second step. So first fix our problems of our types, and then think about consumers of our types.
Okay, that makes sense. However, when you say you fix your code first and then you think about the consumers, the way I usually fix nullable warnings is to have either question marks or exclamation points. Very, very rarely I do an actual, but like it does happen. But like, you know what I mean? Like then I can't do that. I can't do the, what was it called? The damn it operator? Or
yes. Well, the null forgiving operator, to be precise.
Of course. The null forgiving operator, of course. And even though that's very often not very often, but occasionally how I do fix those things.
Well, if you're sure, let's say you get a type and you, through some code, have ensured that this won't go above object where there is nothing, and maybe you're sure, hey, this cannot be null. Because it's annotated as null, but the compiler cannot know here that because the compiler doesn't really do all too deep analysis. It does more of a shallow code flow analysis. It tracks the object of the null, but it doesn't, for example, also not go into method calls. It doesn't do, recursive nullable flow analysis, because this would be very, very expensive, not only to implement, but also to do on a compile time level with more or less every keystroke that we type, running all the analyzers and checking all the things. It could be that in one method you do the check, then you pass it to another method, and then in this private method that because all of the caller of this other method that call this method where it may be null, you ensured that the caller is actually doing the check. So in the callee, you could either do something like a debug assert to basically promise, hey, I promise, well, this would be a bit of the debug assert is actually something that would be executed on a debug build, not on a release build. It evaporates. So you can have a bit of both. Even if it was null at some point later on, maybe some of the callers, you change some code and you forget from the caller this check or something changes, and then it may be null. You actually get in debug build, maybe for unit tests, an actual null reference exception, or actually here debug assert exception saying, hey, you violated a promise here, without paying the impact of these checks for your actual production code. This is why I like debug assert a lot. I do a lot of debugging assert. I love it. Maybe a little bit too much.
So it's safer as well. Okay.
Well, it's like a bit of a mixture of doing an actual proper null check, like null, no argument. If you do argument null exception, throw if null, this would be like the proper null check. These I do for public methods where I don't know who may call them. But for private and internal methods that are only within this assembly, I know exactly who is calling them because it will be me. I then do a lot of these debug assert checks to document for myself, also with code, hey, at some point I thought about it. This can never be null here. If it may change, then we get a debug assert, and maybe we need to actually change it to a proper if is not null check. like if base type is not null. If this actually could be a path, then we only then use the name, and else we need to come up with something else to do then when the code changes. But yeah, I guess this depends a lot on the code or the problem that you're solving.
Nice.
If that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. Okay. So first warnings, then annotations.
But sometimes if you're sure it can't be null, then the null, there we go. Then the null, damn it. If you're absolutely sure, hey, this can't be null, compiler, don't you see? Damn it.
Yes.
But then we should also be sure, because now we could run into null reference exceptions technically, yeah.
No, fair enough.
Well, we can always run into null reference exceptions, because the nullable reference types, they don't do anything at runtime. Really, they are just annotations and warnings. Nothing changes at runtime, so we still could have them. Maybe we consume a library which doesn't have these annotations, and now we are kind of depending on this. We assume, hey, there is no warning, everything is good. But what if this library isn't null annotated, therefore null oblivious? Then we are expecting something to be, but it isn't, and then go boom still. Or maybe this consuming library made a mistake and did a damn it for themselves a little bit too much, and then somewhere return a null that they don't promise in the contract. A lot of things could go wrong. So this is why the null annotations are actually quite important to get right.
Fair enough.
Because you may have a caller that is depending on that promise, on that contract that you give out.
That's fair enough. Okay, but that's one of the migration strategies, right?
Yes. We are really in digression mode today, aren't we?
We are, aren't we?
No, that's not really digression. It's diving deep something. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Exploratory. So one road is to disable it on the project level, and then step by step and even level by level enable it, maybe doing first the warnings. You could also do first the annotations, and then you think about the warnings, or you just do all in once on document, maybe not even on a document per document level. Maybe you start at the beginning, maybe do it only for half the document, say, day is over, let me check this in, let's say nullable disable here. I took care of the first part, but I didn't get around the second part. Let me do this in the next commit or the next pull request step by step. And then eventually you have on each and every document nullable enable.
Yeah.
Now, when you got this all done, you have everywhere nullable enable on top of the file. You now would need to go ahead as a final step, enable this on a project level, and go through each and every project and kill those nullable enables, because they are now redundant. And this is where our tool could kick in, basically enabling this on a project level and finding all the nullable enable declarations. Those is a preprocessor directive. This is trivia, I think, from a Western perspective. Find all this trivia and remove it.
Yep.
So the final step to automate when you're all done. And the other approach could be to enable nullable per default and set in the same go nullable disable on each and every. Using this default means you must add nullable disable to the top of each file. So you would now go ahead, enable nullable enable. Now you would get a lot of warnings everywhere. And you also may lie on your annotations, because every just string, if you just have string here, is now a non-nullable string. Although you may not have reviewed it and actually thought, hey, I said message is optional, so why is this not null? So to avoid all of the warnings that you get and potentially wrong annotations and wrong promises to your consumers, you now go to each and every document, and if it's 1,000,000 documents, it is 1,000,000 times disable on the top of each file. And this could also be automated by our tool, where we enable this on a project level, scan all the documents, and add this node, this trivia on top of each document.
Yeah.
And then the user goes ahead and, hey, time to annotate and fix the warnings in nullable report, removes that, or maybe only disables warnings for now, then adds all the question marks, then disables it in general. And eventually, when done, removes it. Now it's not annotated, and all is good. And step by step, they remove then the nullable disables that we added at the end. All is good, because there will be no nullable disables anymore, and everything will be nullable annotated and nullable warninged.
Nice. Awesome. And what are the other? So these are the two things that we can and will automate with our
The
tools,
others
right?
are a bit of
What are
a,
the others?
I think a mixture. So you could enable nullable warnings as a default. So without the annotations yet.
Okay. And the other one is the nullable annotations.
Nullable is
as
you do
default.
nullable annotations as a default. So you annotate
sense.
first your code
Yeah.
before addressing all the warnings.
Okay, that makes
So we
sense.
could also, when we add these nullable disables,
Yeah.
we could also say, hey, only add null. So when we enable it on a project level, we could also say, hey, only say nullable. Don't say nullable disable, but say nullable disable warnings or annotations. So we could just add this as an option to also cover these other two scenarios.
Okay. But I guess for the start, we'll focus on the first two because I guess they're more often used.
I can imagine. Can I imagine? Actually, I don't know. There's a lot of
can
code that
imagine.
maybe nullable annotated. So,
Oh,
well, if
really?
it's a lot, if for big code bases, I would say first having this and not doing one already, because this could be a lot already. So I guess, I now have the same feeling as you do. This would be the more common scenario for larger code bases, where you actually need a tool automating all of this.
Exactly,
Where a tool could be helpful. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, if you only have 5 files, I'm sure you can handle manually.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Is the question, what are we going to do first? Or is there no question? Are we going to do both in
What are you
parallel?
gonna do first? Let's do the adding first.
Yes, I agree. Oh, good.
Cool.
You read my mind.
What do we need? A test, I
Test.
suppose.
Yes.
And with that, also a name. Oh, damn it.
Oh,
But not the damn it
no.
operator.
Oh,
How
no.
that's
Not naming. Please.
So, nullable. Okay. What will be
Yes.
what will be the name of our type? Potentially something with nullability for applying these migration adoption scenarios. Is it the nullability migrator? Is it the nullability adopter? Sounds weird. Adopter. Nullability helper. That's too generic.
Yeah.
Annotator. But what about the warnings?
Yeah.
Warner.
Yes.
Well, what does this tool do? We go to each document and add and enable nullable annotations and or warnings.
Nullable enabler. That sounds.
The other way would be, the question is the other in the other direction, is this still the same command, the same type, the same logic, or would it be a different type, a different command that would go to each document and remove nullable enable, remove explicit, remove redundant. Maybe that's the thing. Redundant. So actually, we go to the enable nullable on project and remove redundant nullable enables in each document. And the other path is disable nullable on, wait a minute, I'm doing it the other way around, is it? This is actually, hold on. This is one path. We enable nullable project and we actually add, I mixed it up now. We enable nullable on a project and we then add nullable disable for each document. The other path is we disable nullable on, actually we don't really do that because that's the default anyway. We then at the end, when the user has added all the nullable annotations, we then enable nullable on a project level. So this is before migration. This is after migration. Enable nullable project level, and we move all now redundant nullable enable. If I got that right.
Yep.
We get some more help with naming.
Yes. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining.
And
We're
immediately giving a task.
Immediately given a task. So the name, does it encompass all of the ways to migrate the things, or is it just one of them? All of them, right?
Well, we could also think about that's just code. That's just implementation detail. Maybe think about how we would call our code later on. So we do flash over nullable.
I was thinking
we currently have nullable report. What would be? Excuse me.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I was thinking also nullability migration helper. Or is that too long? It's too long, isn't it? Especially if we've got
no, why not? No. Well, when it's explicit, I think as a type name, because we all have those types are all contained to us. We don't expose these types. We only expose these commands. So I guess the name of here would be the more crucial, and then we can name everything similar so that we can draw the connections for us. So I guess this name is way more important, because this will be the public API that will make available via the command line.
That makes sense. Nullability migrate. Yeah, so I think migration helper or migrator would probably be my two favorites. But yeah.
Helper. Well, since this is a verb, this would be help, which is ambiguous with the dash help. So I guess helper is not the good name. Disqualified.
Disqualified.
Well, how does the documentation speak about it? Update a code base with null reference types to improve null diagnostic warnings, and they call it migrations here. Do they use the verb adopt? They use adopt. One time, migrate is several times. Technically, what we do is we do something with this nullable preprocessor directives.
No.
No. So, well, what we'll be doing is, so we enable
all the typos. Yes.
We could say enable null, so we could say nullable enable.
Yeah.
As a verb, the opposite would be nullable disable. But actually, so we have the before migration and the past migration. Yes. Nullabilifier.
Nullabilifier.
So
I love it.
Nullabilify. Nullabilify. Writer doesn't know the word.
I think there's an IFY, right? No.
Is it nullify?
Nullify.
Nullifizieren.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds exciting. Annuler? No, I don't know what it means in French. I should shut up.
Yeah, our next tool is going to be in French.
Oh, I don't know about the accents.
Ooh.
You know, like there's only pseudo random in IT, like with doing with a classic CPU, you can only do pseudo random. You don't really have real random because a machine isn't random. I think with With quantum, you can actually have real random or true random. With a regular computer, you can only emulate randomness. So you can have quasi-random by taking a lot of factors, but still, if you know all these factors, you know the output. There is actually, I think there is algorithms in the web where they take pictures of lava lamps, because these patterns, I think they are, if I remember correctly, they are unpredictable. Or if
Really?
you combine them, they're unpredictable and therefore have true random, because random means not predictability. Also, you could have a random algorithm based on my where I set French accents, because this is pure random too. It could be that if I write the same word again, it could be the same, could be totally different.
Could be totally different. Yeah.
Yes.
No,
my
I get
French marks that I got in school confirm this statement.
Prove it. Yeah.
True
you've
random.
got
Okay, let's stay with English. So we could have
yeah, let's learn some English.
nullable, enable, disable kind of a thing, and we enable dash warnings or something, annotations. No, not sure.
I still prefer the migration
Lava.
stuff.
The thing is called is lava rand. The lava random, the lava lamp based.
That's an actual word. Is this an actual word? Can I Google it?
Or is it a product?
I
Google
will buy it. It is bought. I even have 2 lava lamps. I don't have them, but I.
Oh no, that's actually it's not a product. That's also known as wall of entropy. That's a thing, yeah.
Nice.
Lava rand, cool.
I was thinking, can we use that? Can we extend our tool and do some randomizer, some true randomizer, and call it lava rand?
Well, if we also have a farm of lava lands that we support in the backend, then yeah. This will be a lot of hardware, though.
Oh God! Okay.
Then we need to take pictures of it and analyze it and have. I guess that's yes, very much possible.
Yes, possible.
And then expose a web service and everything, very much possible. A little bit more work, though.
Okay, maybe for the future.
I open another issue. Okay, I'm not sure. I'm totally not sure here. Totally unsure there. Sure. Should we go with a type name for now?
Yeah.
We choose any of these and then we change later. And when we can think of a command name and the options that we supply, then maybe just do a control RR, renaming all of it, or F2, depending on the key map that we choose.
Yes.
Cool. Then what do we go with now? What sounds cooler? Migrator, adopter.
Well, you've heard my preference. Now it's your turn. So.
What? Excuse me. What was your preference?
Migrator was my preference.
Migrator?
Yes.
Migrator it is.
But now you haven't told me your preference. That's not fair.
Adopter. Migrator. I'm indifferent.
Okay.
Nullifier, of course. But that only sounds cool. It doesn't reveal anything what it does. Nullability migrator. Cool.
That's true.
So this will be a static class where we have a method.
Where are you? I'll follow. Okay.
Oops.
I'm here. Sorry.
Public static void. Not sure what we return yet. Maybe some migration nullability migration result, or just a nullability migration. We migrate from a project that will also receive a cancellation token, because we will be async very, very likely.
But I guess if we receive a project, don't we return a project as well?
Maybe then in the nullability migration, we can public sealed class nullability migration, and this will be, I'll just expose public fields for now. This is super bad, but we haven't pushed yet, so we definitely need to change into private fields and properties. Just for simplicity, we could have a list of or a number of documents that we
I see.
documents
That we changed.
And then, yeah, we definitely need a project that we then later on that we then have on a CLI level where we then have the actual MS Build workspace available, and we can actually mutate the project. We definitely need to have the project too. That is right now. Damn it.
No. Okay, but is it called project? Or is
project, yes. So that's the Microsoft Code Analysis.
No, but yeah, I was just thinking because we've like changed documents, it would be like changed project or nullified project. But,
well, if we have one project, we changed. Well, if we also do a solution, if we would change multiple projects or we have changed a solution, then we have things. Let's first, I guess we also need to think about to do support migrating solutions. Yeah, we need to think about this too.
Okay.
Cool. And yeah, this will be very likely async. So I'll design it async up front, and we throw new not implemented exception.
Nice.
And yeah, I guess that's the initial shell that we can now build a spec on. Nullable add, we're going to go to specs, and we add that to our source control, and we add our first fact.
Oh, if you're wondering why we call them specs, you can look up our episodes on Fluent Assertions on our YouTube channel. Public announcement.
Oops. Is auto-completion a little bit off, or am I using it wrong?
No, I think it's a little bit off. But yeah, we're in a very experimental preview situation.
Double experimental, yes.
That was lazy with the name up here. Okay, migrate, and then we have.
Yeah, because I don't know yet. So I guess what would be our first scenario? So which path did we choose first? We do this one, right? So we enable nullable as on the project level and add nullable disable on all of them. So we have the scenario migrate. Not annotated, non-nullable project, and the result is a migrate. But it's not really migrated. Actually, migration is also not correct because we don't do the full migration. We only do the setup for the migration.
Yep. You're right.
Names here. Nullable setup. Then the other thing would be the tear down, depending on do we do the before migration or the after migration story? Naming. Well, this will be later when we go to the CLI part of the story.
Yeah. You're right, but looking at the tests, it doesn't quite make sense because we don't migrate anything. But
we could also name the test later. We could just write the test that we want, and we give it a name afterwards when it's maybe then it becomes more apparent when we see it. If we don't know upfront yet. So let's create a project with our project builder. I think we call it, right?
Yes.
Let's see. I'm just taking a peek at a different. What do we have? Yeah, we have the project builder, and we use that type to set up a project on the test.
Builder. Dot. Oh. C# project.
My cursor is my cursor actually. Never mind.
And then we need to add documents.
Yep.
And then, I mean, should I just write everything out and then we fill the documents, or do you want to
Yeah, we can do that.
fill the documents now and do that later? I don't know. What would be best? And then, wait, then we have to. What,
Well, I
build.
think in order to manifest it, do we have an initial build? I guess
checked.
use build method,
Yeah,
right?
there it is.
Yes.
It was like the first thing, but because it was the first, I didn't see it, and then I only found the unchecked one. Okay, and I think that's it. No,
This will be
what do
the
we have
end.
to do?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's
Right,
maybe
we
let's
go.
add 2 documents
Yes.
so that we do.
Okay.
Do you see that we do more than one?
But for the documents,
And
we can name
we
my.
not sure what's our signature. I think we have the text first and then the name because we kept the name optional,
Really?
if I remember correctly. String. If I hover, does it show? I'm surprised that I don't get a hover.
You might be
Help.
right.
Yeah, oh no, we do have to first name it then because we always have a name here. Never mind. My bad. Name first.
Good.
Since it's a name, I don't think we can have spaces in there.
That is correct, of course.
Or
Yes,
can
sorry.
we? No, actually we can. Can we? Yeah, file names can contain spaces actually.
But
It's very
not nice.
rarely that they do because the document name usually also then has the type in it, but that's more of a conventions thing. So I guess space would be technically cool.
Oh my god! Yeah. And then for the document, we usually use those. What is it called? Raw string literals? Like
It is raw string literals indeed. Yes.
Yes, the
I love
thingy,
these.
and I was just getting used to like always that it's always 2 of them, so you have to do like 6 and then change them. But here, I guess I can only do 1 at a time, and now it's confusing me. Now I have to go really, really close to see how many I've got. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, good, awesome. Oh god, what happened? Can we do it like this?
Yeah, no, I think that's the default formatting of Writer, which is not quite our style.
Yeah,
because we usually only do 1 intention and not current indentation. Excuse me. What do we need? I guess we just really need, since we will add these nullable disable on top of each document, we just need like what could a document look like? We could have namespace, my namespace on top, and then have something like let's do something simple. Public record class my record. There we go. Could be the first document already. Let's add another one, and let's do per document different scenarios we can come up with.
Okay. Da-da-da. I'm so slow. Sorry.
Nothing too. That's good.
Nice. I'm scared again.
What else do we want to do?
I'm really struggling.
Is formatting not as you expect?
No,
Yeah,
I would
it's not
like
really
to
how I
do
expect
what
either,
you
or
did.
how I'm used to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Maybe it's
I'm
because I have the name in my document too. And then
doing a lot of manual stuff now.
It's a little bit weird. Ha! Nice.
Let's do a space.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, this is not so.
We're not really. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, I'm not really a fan of the auto formatting. Not sure if this is a preview thing. I can imagine it's a preview thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Tosin Training didn't know that you can just write that you can do record class. Well, actually, yeah. So record class is the same as just doing a record. When were records introduced? C# 9 or 10? Anyway, the next version then introduced record structs. So you can now have record classes and structs, but to be backwards compatible, because at the beginning you just had records, we were always class, you still have just record, but I like to state it explicitly. So record class and class is the same. Record and record struct is not the same. But I like explicit. What's the noun of explicit? Explicitity? That doesn't make sense.
Explicitity?
Explicitity? Is there a noun to explicit?
Yes. I know there's a noun. I don't know what it is, but confident. Okay.
Oh, I also want to seal it. Yes. Then we have a class in here. We expect it up there. Okay, let's add another document.
What? One more? Really?
Yeah.
How many do we want? Okay.
I don't know. Maybe we end up with 7.
Okay,
would
but
you
can
like
we
to?
copy paste them?
You can. Yeah, we can. Not really the formatting. I think what I would like to say
It's a
is
bit
like
funky, isn't it?
so, because we add a document, then we add another document.
Yes, I
think
like
this
that.
eases. We have it such, yeah.
And now
And we
copy 2
yeah.
and do this.
What else? Well, we could also have. Well, we could have some usings on top. The using system could be on top.
24.
Just thinking of all the things we could have on top. We could have some comment on top, like auto. Ooh, if it's auto-generated,
Yeah.
we don't want to mess with it.
Why not?
Because editing auto-generated documents, they're auto-generated. They may be overwritten by tools. So the tool that is auto-generating a document should take care of that. If we would mutate, if we would change a document that is auto-generated, once this generator runs, it would change it back to the original or whatever this generator does. So usually it doesn't make sense for the user to edit auto-generated documents. If they want to change the auto-generated document, they need to change the generator that generates the auto-generated document. Now I said generated in sentence 7 times.
Nice. But will we have nullable warnings in an auto-generated?
Ooh, excellent question. No, because nullable reference types will be disabled in auto-generated documents per default. Auto-generated, there we go. The global nullable context, so if we set this on a project level, will not be applied for generated code because the user doesn't control the generated document. Some generator does. And if I enable nullable reference types for every document, but this generator is generating the code without nullability in mind, then I would have nullable warnings or wrong nullable annotations that I couldn't fix because maybe it's not a generator that I don't own, but it's through some third-party project. Now I'm basically screwed. This is why per default, generated code, which is when you have an editor config and do generated code true in that directory, you have the auto-generated comment on top, or the file is this also. If this rings a bell, we had the similar concerns also about globalizing documents, globalizing usings. We shouldn't touch generated files because the generator is taking care of these. We would change something, we would mess up a lot, or wouldn't work because generator. And also coming back, if the document starts with temporary generated file or having any of these prefixes, so actually we should have tests for these too. So we will have a lot of documents.
Oh my god.
Okay. So we need this auto-generated document. This will be auto-generated. I'm copy-pasting this. This means auto-generated. Since we already took care of that, I think we already have a helper taking care of all of that. We just need to call this helper and we are good.
Nice.
Because we considered that concern already. Considered that concern.
Yeah. Yep.
Took care of that concern already. Adding 2 more, actually 3 more.
Why do we need so many documents? I'm a bit confused.
Maybe a document builder makes sense. Do you mean like where we can like add namespace, add type and so on? Is that what you mean?
I think potentially something that sort of like randomly generates different documents with different stuff inside.
That's good. Yeah,
like random test data, so to speak. But
it's not really random. It's quite
exactly. Yeah.
Creating a helper class with Fluent API. So because we write the C# code still quite manual, we could also have a builder that helps us. Not necessarily random, but we could say add document with name, like add document dot with namespace with type and so on. Oh. Now we have even more issues.
Yes.
Without context, that sounds weird, but to do.
No, it doesn't.
Issue.
Sounds accurate.
Design a document builder. A C# document. Well, it's a document builder for C# code. C# text, I think, is the correct name, but thinking about Waslin here, maybe a little bit too much. And we can also have the .designer.cs suffix, or here's a lot, .generated.cs suffix. I'm copying this from the documentation. A .g.cs suffix. Maybe we split this in two tests, one that has all the generated things, one that doesn't, but let's start with a big one for now, and we can split it later. .g.i.cs, where the I, we had, Matthias told us in one episode what the I stands for.
Yeah, he did.
And integrated, no, something with forms, something with UI.
Uh-oh.
I can't think of it now.
You're letting Matthias down.
Oh. So we don't want to mutate. I declare a lot of records again. That will fail. I'll just remove these because we shouldn't touch these files anyway.
Is it
cool.
like a problem that they will have the same namespace?
Yes, having the same, declaring the same non-partial type in the same namespace will be a compiler error because ambiguity. You couldn't use this type if you have the same type in the same, from a consumer perspective. If I have the same type in the same namespace twice, which one to use? That's ambiguous. We need to resolve that ambiguity. So we can't, the same assembly, we can't declare the same type. Well, we could make it partial. This is what we could do. Because then they all sum up to the same thing. Actually, I am not sure if partial record types are allowed. Public sealed partial record class M. Can we have a second one? Yes, we can.
Nice.
So we could mark, I'm not sure where this partial goes. Does it go here correctly? I'm not sure about the correct order. But yeah, we could have these two. So they now technically are all the same type because it's just partial declarations adding up to a singular one. Cool. We have all the generated. I guess
I think,
yes?
But still in document 2, we don't have partial, do we?
Well, that's a my class. That's a different type, actually.
But it has the same namespace.
Yes, but it's a different type. We have my record, my class. That's cool.
It
doesn't have the class keyword. There we go. Now it's
that's what I meant.
It was wrong. It was wrong. Yes, indeed.
It was wrong. Document 2 had a thingy.
We should also, if we have a comment, but a different comment. Well, if we have nullable enable as a comment, but it's a comment, so this should still be considered because that's just a comment. We shouldn't consider this trivia. And this will be 4 and 5. And maybe let's have just a type. If we do not have a namespace, but just a type, then this type is in the global namespace. But this is something you shouldn't do. But yeah, for this test, we can do it. And we have some doc comment summary. Yes, please. Does it also? Ooh, autocomplete is very smart. Is this the AI already? Do you have the AI enabled? I don't. I should do this afterwards. Documentation. There we go. Cool.
Nice.
I think we now have a bunch of cases where we expect the auto-generated documents not to be mutated, but all the non-auto-generated documents to be mutated.
Well, this is going
So
to be
we
a long test,
have a
right?
big project.
Because
Yeah,
we're going to have really long
let's split-
search as well.
that is correct. Yeah, we can split it later on then in
Later.
intervals.
That's fine. It's a lot of scrolling.
That's right. Oh yeah, I still don't have the note. I'm looking for, but I haven't found one yet. I'm actually went to some store and tried some, but very picky on the mouse. I see. Also, I'm picky with null checks and mouses.
How about keyboards?
Yeah, I guess I can also. Not sure if I'm picky. I just can't decide. That's the same thing. I'm not sure about the. I'm searching in mechanical ones, but I'm super unfamiliar with all the different tactile behaviors of the keys of the different switch. Oh, not the keys, the switches.
Yeah.
That's a rabbit hole that I will fall into sooner or later as well. Once I found them off, then it's keyboard time.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
With silent keys, well, I definitely need silent keys. Otherwise, well, there wouldn't be any scrolling anymore, but a lot of clacking.
But it can be nice clacking. Like, do you know those? Yeah, there are loads of keyboard switches.
There is an S. Okay. I did not.
What? That was too fast. Now I need to go.
Yeah,
into the chat.
maybe I shouldn't show too many product information. And switches are no products, right? And clear switches. Okay, putting them on the list. The silent mouse that Toast Training recommended.
Speaking of equipment, I've got new headphones, and it's so weird to hear yourself differently. Like, they're definitely cheaper than my old ones, and I can barely hear myself. So maybe if my voice has changed since switching, it's so because I can't hear myself. I mean, I can, but like not very well. No, I think they're just stupid. No, I think like in a lot of like really good headphones, you can kind of hear yourself as well because it's a little bit disorienting.
Yeah.
See, there it is. But yeah, it's fine. I get by. Maybe we can get sponsored and we can get cool equipment.
Cool. Yeah.
Nice. All right.
We will have
Act.
this.
What is this?
Will be breaking. I just would know.
Did you write that? Okay.
Yeah.
Is that
so
what
we
we
can
want
now?
to learn?
Yeah. We can now invoke our nullable migrator and do asserts on our result.
Oh, okay. How do you do that? No. Result? Do we need a result? No.
Yeah. Because our nullable migrator returns a result that we then later on will do migrations on. Well, we could do it all fluently, but since we do the act and the assert separately, we kind of need to fulfill this pattern. We kind of need to put it in a field, in a local.
All right. Nullability migrator, right?
Yeah.
Nullability migrator. Yes. Can you actually hear my keyboard and mouse?
Slightly, a little bit.
Really? Oh no!
Yeah, but only now because I was thinking about it. I didn't for the other 1.5 seasons.
Nice. Okay, that's good. Migrate and then project.
Yep.
Easy.
Cool.
Easy peasy
and
lemon squeezy.
Then we need to assert the results. So actually, how many documents do we expect to be mutated? Let's start with the number first. We expect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 auto-generated, 5, 6, 7. Yes. Oh, there's a problem. There we go. We expect 7 documents to be. Oh, we have multiple. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We expect 7 mutated. So we can actually, we could assert this mutate. How did we call this field? The mutated projects, changed projects?
Changed projects, I think.
Documents.
Documents changed, but I can't.
Oh, yes, because, what is the result? Oh, yeah, I made a mistake. This should be called migrate async.
Ah, okay. So we need to await
Yes,
this.
indeed.
And
This
is this
returns
a
a task.
task already?
Or should return a
Yes.
task. It is, but I misnamed the method, yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
I guess this won't help. I just changed. I should have done a rename. I didn't, I think. Yep. Now it should be good.
Okay. But I still don't have. Oh, documents changed. There it is. Yes.
And this 7 should be 7.
B7. Okay.
Let's start with that.
Yes.
And then we analyze the to-do check project. Changed. Oh, checked projects document. Cool. Okay, let's implement that thing. So we get a project. Let's.
I'll follow you. Okay.
Well, let's start simple. Let's just count all the documents and return that in this nullability report. We're currently not async. In order to be async, I'll just do a await task.yield here so that we later on then just
Oh my god.
do remove that and all is good. But
Oh
we
my
are
god.
already don't need to return a task of, but can do the object. We have the state machine. That's what I'm trying to say. This is 100% correct. So we return our new nullability migration, and we set this document changed to number of documents. Excellent. Cool. Let's run the test. Specs. This
Why is this red?
Red here, yeah, troubles me, but it looks like that. It's C#. Maybe that's a preview of a preview problem.
I don't have it on my side. Oh.
Must be executed on the UI thread. Okay.
Okay. Oh god.
Yeah, I guess that's the preview thing.
Preview thing. Is it running? Something happening?
Yes.
Because that's another thing. Like I can't see the
you don't see that
test window.
Okay.
On my end. I don't think so, at least.
There is like the. Oh, yeah, I have to zoom way too high. This. Not even sure what the icon is.
Never mind.
Oops.
I'm not going to search for it now.
Stop. I think the icon is 2 circles, but yeah. Okay. Anyway, invalid operation exception. A namespace cannot directly contain members such as fields, methods, or statements. Made a mistake. So because we do set up our project, we say create it as checked. So under the hood, we actually then get the compilation, and if we contain any errors. So our setup is somewhere. We have a. Oh, is the test? Oh, I can't see that. Damn it. I don't know the shortcut. Auto test. Is it Alt 8? It is Alt 8 indeed. Yeah, because I have the resolution or the zoom level way too high. I don't see the icon here for the tests, but it's Alt 8 is the shortcut. Does it say which? Document 6. Also document. Oh, I made a partial wrong. Okay. So this is not allowed. Let's go to SharpLab because that's quick. Boom. Partial is not allowed here. Okay. Is it allowed here? Yes. I'm not sure where to put partial correctly. From an order perspective, should it be here or should it be here? Oh no, here's not allowed either. So it must be between sealed and
record, right?
Between sealed before record. Okay. So all the partials need to be before record. Let's find partial.
All right.
You go from the top down, I go from the bottom up.
Yeah. Top down, bottom up. Okay.
I guess we could also have done a find and replace.
We could.
But now we're already halfway there. Well, on the other hand, the sunken cost fallacy. Cool. There was also another error, but let's see if this was a consecutive error. Somewhere we contained a namespace that namespace. Which C# level are we on? What's our? We compiled with C# 10. C# 10 does not have now namespace thing yet. I think this will be 11, which has file scope namespaces.
Okay.
That's not 12. I'm totally mixing up the language versions now. Is it 10? No, must be 11. File scope namespaces. Required. Span. Extract.
No.
When is file scope namespaces? Let's go into a language version. You can actually search in here because they have it all there. File scoped namespace. This is not listed here. That surprises me. What is the version of? What version? Okay, hold on. Actually, would it say so? Since we, depending on the version, maybe it's also contained in the error message.
That'd be cool.
We still have invalid partials. Oi.
I think I'm potentially.
Must be all classes, all regular classes. Oh, we have somewhere an error. Okay. But no, it doesn't say so. Yeah, let's just use the highest and we're good to go. Language version 12. There we go.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, document 1. That is that.
Yep.
Yeah. Then also in document invalid. So yeah, that's the problem.
Sorry.
Nothing to worry about. Document 6. A namespace cannot directly contain members such as fields.
No.
Namespace. See, I forgot the class keyword here again. And also, we have the my class already, so this also needs to be a partial
and
class.
Here as well. Oh.
Yes. Oops.
Wow. What happened? Oh, God. Jesus.
Something weird. Oh.
So I tried to copy class, right?
Yeah.
Paste to here. Oh, no, it works. Oh, come on. No, I swear it was different before.
Is the cursor jumping around weirdly?
Yeah, it was the cursor, I swear.
Maybe you can. There is somewhere a feedback.
No.
Oops. No,
I've
I didn't mean
just
to do that.
gotten over my fear of copy pasting on stream.
Yeah, that's just. We can give some feedback to the wider team that.
Yeah, I swear it was the thingy. Anyway.
Okay, let's see if our setup is good. Now it. Oh yes, because yeah. So we set up the project correctly, did some correct C#, and we found, well, we indeed have 14 documents, but we expect 7 because only 7 should contain. So let's filter all the auto-generated. Oops. There we go. Let's filter all the auto-generated ones.
Yep.
I believe we have a. Let's search for Control T auto-generated. I think we have something there. Auto is auto generated. No, we didn't call it like that. Symbols.
When you say filter.
Yeah.
Are we okay? I was going to do a loop situation, but we probably
should also
do a
be
link situation, right?
Yeah, we should also be able to. Let's start with link. Yeah.
Very good.
Which method do we use in order to filter?
Select.
Well, first we should show this message.
Hello.
Here. Thanks for joining again. I got to be back. And file scope namespaces are in C#10, but we actually used C#10. Not sure why that wasn't compiling earlier.
Yeah.
Well, wished. And Vasi92 is here too. Hello. Thanks for joining.
Hello. Good evening.
Can you remember which
is
link
it select
method?
No.
Yes, it is.
Okay, good.
Because select No, hold on. Wait a minute. No, it's not. Select.
Oh God.
Select this transformation.
Oh no.
Filter is when you think about SQL database lingo.
SQL database lingo. I would go select
Some
start from blah where blah.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, where is it? Where?
Yes, it is. Where returns a boolean, and if the boolean is true, it will be contained in the set, and otherwise not. Why the collection?
Okay, fair enough.
Result set.
Oh, that makes me happy.
Sequence. Okay. That's the word.
Okay, but
I'll find the method in the meantime.
Yes. In the meantime, of what?
While you write the select, the where.
Okay.
We wrote this, haven't we? I'll take a look.
Yeah.
I'll go cheating in our. Well, we definitely needed this in our globalizer.
Yes.
Where we is generated code. Okay. Oh, not auto-generated, just is generated code. Okay. And for that, we need the compilation. So we need to get out of the project. We need to grab the compilation. We also have a helper for that. And then we ask the compilation. Oh, so no, hold on. That's actually asking the entire compilation if it's auto-generated, because the entire compilation could be auto-generated. We need to test for this later on as well. If on a project level, it's also the Wasm utilities is generated code. We pass in a document, and this will be it. So using Wasm utilities is generated code for now should be good.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
we do need this compilation thing later to do check if compilation is auto-generated. Because I think you can. I actually forgot what we checked there. We check if if it has the auto-generated, because the generated code attribute can be on an assembly level as well, and then it's the entire project. Yeah. Anyway, let's use that method to filter the auto-generated document. While
filter the documents.
You also want to do
Hello. Thanks for joining. All right.
Let's do it. Let's do it in our link expression. Yes.
What? In where?
Well, let's also linkify it. So let's do it here already in our link expression. That's not a link expression, but in our method thing chain.
Where?
Ooh.
What happened? What's wrong?
The count got overridden.
Yeah, but that's writer. That.
Yeah, we can edit later.
That's again. Because I tapped. Yeah.
There was an auto completion for that.
I don't write anything like straight if I can help it.
I was wondering if it's a bug in the.
Where is it? X? No.
Code with me that we could report.
Do we need an arrow?
Yes, because we will declaring an anonymous function that returns true.
And then
that returns Boolean. And we call so basically the signature is here, Wasm utility is generated, and this one takes a document as the single argument. Do you know how to call that?
No.
So this is not part of X.
No.
This is generated. We didn't make this an extension method or something. So it's only available on Wasm utilities. That's just a good old static method.
Oh, okay. Where X Wasm utilities is generated code is false, right? Because
we don't know, but we need to pass something to this. Now we can pass in the variable that we have available in the lambda. Yes.
And if it is auto-generated, we don't want to count it, right?
That is correct. So we only. Oh yes, that is correct. So how do we write that?
So I don't know,
it's not generated.
Yeah. Oh. Wait. Oh no. Is generated not? No, that doesn't
No,
work.
we
No,
can't do this
here.
because dot exclamation point is not. Yes, yes, there we go. So we
And
negate
then
the result.
count.
Yes.
Nice. Count. Easy. Oh,
I guess we can. Oh,
replace single call.
it seems that count also has an overload
Oh,
that pausing external sources. Yeah, that also has a selector function, so we can do it in one thing. Let's search that. Yes, there is also the predicate taking t and returning Boolean, so it's doing it in one step. So yeah, that's an optimization.
nice.
Cool. And let's run the test. Alt 8. But we found 9. Did I make a mistake? Maybe I counted poorly. This is very much possible. So this one not generated. Not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's
Generated. 6,
6.
7. Generated. Oh, yes. Oh, I think we only do it on a document level. Those are the checks on a document level. We do not check on a syntactic level, because currently we check on a document level, and our check on a document level is actually the name of the document. So doing this is generated. We check, is it a generated file name? We still need to extract the actual syntax, the root compilation unit out of each document, and check that as well, where we then check, hey, does this have an auto-generated comment somewhere where we do all the leading trivia stuff and so on. Okay, so let's not do a count, let's just do the filter. Let's just do the where here, so that we have an enumerable of documents that are not documents, just.
It's tricky.
Did you know that if we do not negate that, let's say if we were to need the positive, and you have the general thing, well, first of all, I'll come to that later. If you take one argument and then just pass it down, like here, you can actually convert it to a method group. Writer is supposing that, replace with method group, and you can just write it like here. Because the compiler can infer the compiler, because the where expects a method that takes a t and returns Boolean. And this is exactly what we have here. Is generated, takes the t, the document that we are currently in the context is, and returns a Boolean. Therefore, we can do the method group conversion. And there is only one candidate. If we had another is generated if we had something that would be convertible, if we had some implicit conversion going on, then it could maybe be problematic. But document isn't convertible to compilation, or is it convertible to compilation unit syntax, so the compiler can distinctively infer that this is the target method of this group, because we have multiple methods called the same name. So we have our is-generated code method group. Compiler can infer the correct method, and all is good. But since we need to negate it, we need the longer syntax. What I don't like, it's very much I don't know if it's convention. I see this in a lot of code. I don't like X.
Why?
Because it's what is X? Could be anything. I like to be explicit. I would call this document.
Oh my god. Yes. Okay.
Or if you want to go short, maybe D or doc. If you want to do the short version.
We don't have to be. We don't have to be that short.
Do refactorings work for you? Can you do Control RR or F2 and then rename? Does this work via Code with Me?
No, I don't think so.
token training still prefers
D.
what's the word? Brevity. So yeah, let's then do a short one.
All right. Let's
Because X is like, yeah, it's good anything. Why they not just call it underscore? Like, I don't care about the name. Well, underscore actually is misleading because usually underscore means discard. If we only have one underscore, that actually is a valid identifier. We do get a warning. Yeah, it's typically reserved for parameters without usages, but from an older C# version where it was, anyway, long story short, yeah, I like to give it a proper name. Because the next thing is we wouldn't call this documents, but we could call this X as well. Well, I guess I'm making a little bit of a scene here now, but yeah, I like proper naming.
But now we still have to like filter out more documents.
Yeah, that is correct. We need to get, and I guess we could still do this with link for now.
But we can't chain it, can we? Because we don't need documents. We need the root situation.
Yes, later on, but we could now have.
no?
This is where we could do a select, unless it's async. This is selecting the root document. Well, no, I don't think that's async. So because we still need to do some training, would say, okay, doc is also fine, but they really prefer brevity, so that the lambda expression is, well, okay, I guess the argument calling this full document, now this entire lambda gets long. Yeah, I cannot argue that. So keeping it short is indeed of benefit here. So now what we need to do, I think we also have Roslyn utilities for that. Get compilation root.
Yep.
And we pass in a syntax tree. I thought we also had a, let's check our global using globalizer. We documents, and we ask the documents that are generated, and we get the, okay, no, we have an overload. Oh, no, okay, we do get the syntax root, because we do need the syntax root later on. But for now, we could still link it. So we could, oh no, that's async, and we don't have async link. There is async link as well, that then translates from an iNumerator to an async enumerable. But since we will later on probably not need it, let's not do that for now. Let's talk about async link in a future episode. Yeah, let's do it for each now. So let's grab from each document the syntax root. And then we can just hardcast it to compilation unit syntax, yeah.
Oops.
Unit root, but we do have a helper for that. Why not? Do we use that one? Oh, this is for the tree. Okay.
Okay.
I think in the background we hear some radio, TV, whatever.
What? Really? 1 second.
Is that me?
Has it stopped now? No?
No.
Still? Really?
Is it me? It's not me.
Is it me? Wait,
I
what
think
do you
so,
hear?
because if I take my headphones off.
Okay, but is
I
it
don't
like
know,
voices?
Yes.
Or is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just send an angry WhatsApp. 1 second.
I see. Thanks for considering. So we get the, oops,
All right.
yeah, that's the way that.
I'm back.
So we get the syntax node, which will be the root. This actually is nullable. I had this feeling. Oh yeah, we also should pass the cancellation token forward to it. I have the feeling that we kind of solved, haven't we solved this like in one single method? No, not really. We get the syntax root and then we just cast it to compilation unit syntax to get the compilation unit. But here we don't have nullability. Now I'm confused. Oh, so because we do it in the Roslyn utilities. Okay.
Yes.
Because in there we actually, because we really don't expect this to ever be null. So I'm just calling the Roslyn utilities instead. Then we have a non-null root that we can just now cap. But don't we have also a helper for getting the compilation unit root where we pass in the syntax tree now? Yeah. Oh no, that's a syntax tree, not the node. Never mind. Perhaps we could also introduce a helper for that to get the C# unit, C# syntax unit. I can't recall globalizer. Why do I close it all the time? Using globalizer, there it is. The compilation unit syntax, OI. And this will be C#, yes. Cool. And now we can ask our Roslyn utilities if this one is generated code. As well.
Okay. Yes. Which is in. Is it? It's not linking. It's ifing, right?
In our case, yes.
Nice. Okay. If. Sorry, what was it? What was it?
I think we also got this on our Roslyn utilities.
Roslyn utilities. Okay, got it. Yeah.
Where we then pass in the.
Is generated code.
And just yes.
And
then, now we need to count the number of documents manually. You know how we would do this?
No. Wait, I'm confused now. Yes. We are, for each document, in documents, do this. And then we have a counter, like probably outside.
Yeah.
Or yeah. Okay. Okay. So do I do it all the way up top, or do I do it before the for each so it's readable? Which one is more readable?
I would keep it close to the use, as close to the usage.
Number of documents.
Or at the first usage.
I don't need to do anything, right? I can just
if you say var,
because
you
it's
need
var.
to do something,
Okay,
because var is nothing. It needs to be inferred. Now you can leave it because that's a value type and that's null by default. Null, 0. That's not null, 0, null.
See, I told you.
Yeah. Yes.
Was it just plus plus? Woohoo!
Yeah, it's plus plus indeed.
It's not.
I guess. Okay, no, we actually need to. We actually do need to initialize it before usage. So we need to explicitly assign either default or 0. Yeah. Cool. Let's see how our test is doing. Will our test fail? Actually, our test will fail, or I expect our test to fail. What do we need to change? That we pass. Because which documents do we currently count?
What?
Which documents?
All the ones that are not auto-generated, right?
Are we?
No. So the documents that have like auto-generated in the name of the document, right?
Yeah. We exclude them already, yeah.
Or
so we exclude them here.
Them already. And then we
count
one that
are not
ones
generated, yeah.
That don't have the comment up top. Is that right? No.
Are we?
That's wrong.
What are we doing?
I think I took care of the noise problem while you were looking into that method, because so I'm not actually sure what is generated code is checking
I think we still hear it.
What? Impossible. My microphone is way too good.
Well, what does the method say?
I don't actually know. What does it do? Syntax.
No, what does it just? What does the name say?
Whether it's generated code.
Yeah, and if it is generated code, we
count it.
Yes, so we should.
Oh no, we did it wrong. I did it wrong. If it's not generated code.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Thank you.
Can you turn down the gain of the microphone? Not sure if your microphone has like a little thing.
Yeah.
And success. Woohoo!
Nice.
Cool. Now we need to really assert documents. Because we don't quite assert anything other than, okay, so we now have all the documents that we want to assert. How do we, actually, I'm not sure how did we did it in the globalizer.
I think we literally just
How do
had
we
like
assert the
expected.
documents? Because I guess we still need to assert the strings of these documents.
Yeah. I think we literally wrote them out.
I think we have something like a expect. Let's see, core tests. How did we do? Okay, so no, this is where we
Expected project.
we even create another project and then assert. Then we check these projects if they are equal. But I guess we don't really do the okay. We need to do a bit of an assertion here. Maybe we do this also fluently. But basically what we gotta do is do the same thing again. Oh yeah, that's really a long test. We should split that later. And say expected, where we expect here, where we actually also expect on the project to be with, I guess our builder needs to do this with nullable enable. With nullable enable, or we do it like with nullable, with nullable enable. And we need nullable, oh, that's cool. Ooh, this is really cool. Although this is a string, Writer knows that this is a C# string and it tabs to complete it with C# code. That's really cool.
That's pretty cool.
Disable. And this should be disabled on top. This should be nullable disabled. This should be null. All the ones that are not auto-generated will be, should have nullable disable. Auto-generated nah, auto-generated nah, not auto-generated yes, not auto-generated yes. Generated. Cool, they should remain unchanged. Maybe our builder could also be like, we create one version and then we mutate that project with only the changes. So we only need to state the diff or something. Get another to do project expectation diff builder create or something. I'm afraid we can still hear background.
Okay, but is it me making noises or is it voices?
Voices.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't hear anything.
Am I imagining it?
No. Maybe I am. My hearing.
And expected dot. How did we do that? Using globalizer tests. I need to go cheating again, how we did it earlier.
Yep.
In the CLI, we created 2 projects. Oh, no, hold on. Those are the CLI tests. We want the core tests. Then we did this tool assert, where we pass in the result and a project, where we then sooner or later do a was-then assert, where we can actually pass in 2 projects. I guess we could maybe fluent assertionify this too. But for now, Stuart doesn't hear it. Why do I hear it? Am I getting insane?
One of us is. I'm so glad you said that, Stuart. Thank you. I was like, I was going insane.
Oh, that's the aquarium water pump, not.
No, but that's been going the entire time. Oh, I'm sorry for that.
That's the aquarium.
It's usually not doing it.
Yes, that's the aquarium. I don't know. I'm hearing voice. I'm so sorry. I'm hearing voices where there is splashing.
Yeah. Okay, so sorry.
Excuse me. I didn't know. I thought
Yeah.
I'm hearing voices. Okay, this is
I'm really
too,
sorry.
this is too
Actually, I
orthogonal
can't.
problems.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't turn it off, and I can't fill the water higher at the moment because we're making changes there. So
Yes.
yeah, I'm really sorry.
French
I've
room.
been sitting in this room all day with like this water, so it's obviously also not very good for having to go to the bathroom literally every hour. But yeah, I sort of tell myself it's sort of like zen, and it's only for a couple more days, maybe like 1 or 2. Sorry about that. Maybe you can also think about it like, think of it as relaxing.
Excuse me, I totally did not. I heard voices.
Turn it.
This aquarium pump. Oi.
Sorry.
Cool.
embarrassing.
What I'm trying to
Okay.
do. Yes. Well, we still return null for the project, so we now need to set the project. Well, for now, I'll just set the project to the input project, and then we should have again a failing test. I'm also looking at the clock. Maybe we could quickly. Should we still get this test green?
Yeah. We absolutely should.
We should have most of the facilities in place actually, so it shouldn't take all too long. And this, what was the result of the test? Success? No, I heavily doubt that. No, there we go. Oh, error. That's bad. Oh yeah, the nullable enable. Oh yeah, we still need to do that. That's a to do because we also need to assert that we actually change the nullable part, but we will extend our builder there later. And no, that's 8. Well, do you see the build output, like the errors or stuff? Do you see that on your end?
No.
So only the. Okay.
I don't see anything currently.
So we have my document, and we don't have the nullable disable that we expected. So we now need to add that.
Actually, can I run the test? Because maybe if I run them myself, I could see.
Ooh, so you do see the test explorer?
No.
If I hit Alt, oh, you mean you can run it via do you see it in the document? Like these buttons?
Oh. No, I was gonna just like right click on the.
Oh, do you have one unit test on your end?
Oh, actually, I can see it. I can run it. Wait, 1 second. Oh, no. Okay, I can run the unit test. Did I run? Did something happen on your end?
Nothing seems to run on my end, no.
Okay. Then I can't. I have like the run option. And I also have the option to run it in like different .NET versions, which is pretty cool. But when I click it, I don't think anything really happens. So nothing happens on my end. Nothing happens on your end. And
what do you mean you see it in different? So do you see the test explorer with the different?
No. I mean, I see the test explorer, but it's completely empty.
That's exactly,
like it doesn't have any like the little play buttons or like any writing in it. It's completely empty. And I think potentially the noises are gone. Are they?
Yes.
Yay! Okay, cool.
Well, at least the voices I had in my head, but that's a different problem, I suppose.
No, it's okay. So apparently we could already fill the water up a little bit more. So that's just we have 2 aquariums, by the way. So this is it's a little bit funky. All right.
Yeah, there's some feedback we can give to the JetBrains team later. And yeah, let's now change the project to because changing projects is fun. Because of the immutability, we need to do project.with document. No, how can we mutate a document? Because we need to get where we have the document. First, we need a new document. New doc or changed document. Changed document. And for that, we grab, I believe, the syntax root.
Yes.
And need to, well, eventually then say the document that we have with a new syntax root.
Yes.
So we actually need a new changed syntax root where we grab the previous root and need to add to the tree an element. And I should know this because I've done this sometimes. I totally forgot how to do this. I'm distracting with a comment from the audience.
Nice.
Well, we're not using Visual Studio Code anymore.
Good question. Very good question.
That buys me some time.
Oh no. No, it's actually a good question. We used to do that. I think we started our very first stream with that. And we used to really love it, but it kept crashing. And it's sort of like really like, I think there were a couple of streams where we barely got any work done, not because we're stalling like today, or like not stalling, how do you say, sort of like deep diving into random topics and languages. But just because like it crashed all the time and we got a little bit annoyed with it. And then we started trying out, different solutions and ended up using Fleet and now Code with Me for the first time. So yeah, it was really, really fun tool. It was really good for the first couple of streams, but we had some, it just kept crashing. That's it. I mean, sometimes it was really useful as well because I didn't know what to do. And then it was like, well, I can't do it because the thing crashed and I can't edit anymore. But yeah, for the most part, it was really annoying. Hope that answers the question. But good question. Thank you for noticing.
I don't know how to. Well, previously we removed nodes. There's a method for that.
Okay.
Oh, well, I saw we can add, but we could replace a node.
But do we want to replace it or do we want to?
I guess we do because let's take a look at the syntax tree. Currently having an error. Let's remove that. If you have a document, then we first have the compilation unit. And we have, I guess this is from the, I'll switch to a, let's remove top level statements to make stuff a little bit more complicated. So we have our using directive on top. If we now add a nullable enable or disable in our case, this is now since this is trivia is not standalone.
Yeah.
Let's actually add it to, the keyword of the first using directive. If we wouldn't have the using, but let's say the class, or let's do a namespace.
Yep.
And we have our namespace declaration or file scope namespace declaration, the case. Now this trivia, oops, I was holding the space key, is now here on the first token. So it's actually on the first, it seems to be on the first node, on the first node's first tokens trivia. So we need to add trivia to we find the first node, we find the first token, and add trivia to that.
Okay.
So I guess we should be able to say, is there a nodes? Oh no, hold on, we're under here. Is there a node, find node, child nodes? We can get, hold on. So there's descendant nodes and child nodes. I think child nodes is only listing the, is there a comment? Yeah, gets a list of child nodes, prefix document order. In this case, would only give file scope namespace because that's the only child node. If we go descendants, I think it's then recursive and gets all of the nodes, even the children of the children and so on. I think that's the difference. So we could just get child nodes and get the first one out of there. If we find one, let's be aggressive first. Perhaps we also to do test in an empty document where there are no nodes. So we have our first node. Now we want to get from that node the first token.
Yes.
So there's child nodes, child tokens. Well, we could do the same thing with the child tokens. Let's append it here for now. And the first one there. So this will now be a syntax token. And here, yeah, there is leading trivia. I guess we also, what if we have leading trivia already? So what if there is already a, well, if there is already a nullable disable, then we shouldn't add a new one. But let's,
Yep, that's
for
that's
the fun,
true.
okay, another test.
Yep.
To do test, what if that trivia already exists? A test for that.
Yeah,
And jumping back, how does this look now? We have actually not certain. Go away. Oops. So we have okay. So we actually have two. So we can have multiple. Is this then multiple leading trivias? I think so. We should be. Is leading trivia a list of trivias? No. Oh yes, it is indeed. Leading trivia is a syntax trivia list. So we could now add to this trivia list. Is there also an add that takes an we add trivia? But this would add it at the end. We want to insert it. Actually, we want to prepend it. So at the beginning, not prepend, to add it at the beginning. So we could insert at index 0 this new trivia. So let's create. We need our syntax trivia. Oops.
Okay.
Syntax trivia with our trivia. How do we create that? There is the Roslyn factory, no, the syntax factory. And we had, or the C# syntax factory, because there's also a Visual Basic syntax factory. And with that, I guess we can create something like trivia. Damn it. No, hold on. This is our syntax factory.
Yeah.
Is it just syntax? Oh, is it just syntax factory? It's just syntax factory. That is the. Oh, yeah. We have our own. We have our own C# syntax factory where we grouped. Yeah, where we combined logic, like creating a global using directive as a root already to make our globalizer very simple, just one method call and do all the complexity of creating this structure, this tree of syntax nodes correctly. I guess we can refactor this later, but yeah, this would be the syntax factory, and this is the one in the C# namespace, because there's also one in the Visual Basic namespace. And this one should have.
If you're interested in learning more about our globalizer, head to our YouTube page and watch the videos, because we built it all live on stream last year.
Oh, yes. And here again, yeah, here we can create trivia.
Yes.
And this is structured trivia.
Oh, that's so funny. I don't know what just happened, but I got a pop-up.
Yeah.
Please wait. Stefan is working with a model dialog. Now it's gone. But it came briefly, and I couldn't do anything. Like I was literally blocked.
So there's a model dialog, like there was this downloading sources, and I could cancel that operation, but I guess I couldn't have done anything else, so that blocks you too.
Yeah, that's funny. Kind of cool.
And now I need to create a structured syntax trivia, and I have no idea how to do that. But there is a wonderful tool for that.
Yeah.
The Roslyn quota. This is the opposite of SharpLab. SharpLab analyzes the syntax tree and parses it into the Roslyn representation. Roslyn quota does the opposite. You enter, well, it's well, it does the opposite from a syntax tree perspective. It doesn't, well, it parses the C# code as well, but then gives you the code, the Roslyn code that you need to write in order to create the syntax tree. So we can do nullable. Well, let's say we just have a class or a document that has this public, that has a namespace. name. That's it. That's all we have. This is now the Gosling code that we need. Well, we can also enable the syntax factory. Do not require using static. Yes. This is the code that we need. We ask the syntax factory to give us a compilation unit with members, where we ask the syntax factory to create a singleton list, a list with one element of member declarations that consists of a single file scope namespace declaration with the identifier name n.
Nice.
So this is what we get, and we can now ask it to nullable enable. What would
really
this
cool.
be? Generate. And we get a compilation unit with end of
token.
file token. Also, because I don't have a new return. Let's do also an example. Let's also do the namespace n here so that we have the same example. And we would need to, yes, we still have this first node. And we, with namespace keyword, well, this is still all the namespace thing. We have, here is our, so syntax factory. Okay, so we definitely need a token. Well, if there is no, well, if we find a token, we append to this token. What if there is no token yet? Then I guess we need to create a token. So we need another unit test, perhaps. The trivia list with a syntax factory trivia, with a syntax factory nullable directive trivia, with a token enable keyword and true. Not sure what that means, but let's copy that.
How have we never used this before, or have we?
No. Yes, we have. We have in the last year. Yes. Otherwise, I highly doubt that we would have come up with.
Oh my God!
We create?
I completely forgot about
where we would have all of that. Yeah. Well, it's been a while, and we abstracted it, or we hid it in this type.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm fairly certain because I wouldn't have known it. Would you?
Yes. No.
Yes. No. Well, this is you rarely create a C# tree via code.
No, fair enough.
Okay, so we create a token list, trivia list. We create a trivia, nullable directive trivia, which takes syntax token and the bool is active. Okay, that's what the true is for. And then I guess we set another question mark, and this is what am I doing wrong? It's not assignable. Wait.
Oops.
So syntax token takes a syntax. Oh, that takes a syntax kind. Did I take something wrong from that list? Let's copy that and put it in verbatim. Or did I make a mistake here already? No, that looks wrong, right? Oh, sorry for the follow-up. I just noticed it now. How do we find code with me? Yeah, well, it's not so stable yet because it's still in preview. Well, we are using an early access preview of Rider, and within that early access preview, code with me is still also in beta or preview. I'm not sure what it's called. So we have a bit of a double preview. So we're noting all the issues that we have and then report them to the team. But yeah, how do we like it so far? For example, compared to Fleet.
Okay, well, okay. Is that a fair comparison though? Because like Fleet is sort of like up and running and has been working really well for us. I think, however, what I prefer here is just a general sort of like look of it and feel of it. Like it feels for me, obviously, a lot more intuitive because I used Rider a lot. So that's probably also not a fair thing to say. But like, yeah, just like following, not just like literally following, but also like shifting. So I can see kind of where you are, even if I'm not following you. I sort of like have like a little, like the little icon that you see that I'm in which file I am right now. Even though you're not following me, you can see it, the little E up top. And that all, I actually I really like it. I think it has, like, with the cursor issues that we had, especially at the beginning of the stream, and that I can't see or run the tests properly is a little bit annoying. But generally, I think when this is ready, I think it's going to be really, really cool.
Oh yeah.
And there are loads of
yes, indeed.
features that we haven't really seen before, or at least I haven't noticed before in sort of other, like, for example, this little phone icon that you have up top. I think you could
Oh
also
yes.
just have a little call,
We could
and
do
you
a
wouldn't
call,
have to be in, like, I don't know, some other video call provider and then share your screen and then do that. You could just like call the person you're coding with. And a lot of like little things, like you can kind of see that, Eva's joined. You could kind of see it at the bottom a couple of times. I thought that was kind of cute. So I'm actually liking it. But yeah, it still has a couple of bugs, I suppose.
Yeah, I feel the same. Especially what I really like is that the wider test explorer. We spent a lot of time in testing, so this is really, for me, this is more comfortable than the one in Fleet, and we also have more powerful features. We can also do, like, we could do continuous testing, where we can configure it every time we save. All of the impacted tests are run automatically and stuff. So I really like this. I would love for you to see it too. So
yeah, that would be
once it
really,
has
really
like kind of once it is kind of feature parity with Fleet, then it is inherently for .NET a more complete experience. Yeah.
We could like maybe have a review, because we've tried quite a few, haven't we? Have we
I
worked
think we
with
tried
VS
all of them,
Code as
right?
well?
We did VS Code,
Yeah.
Fleet, and Rider. That's all of the .NET IDEs. Well, there used to be VS for Mac as well. Well, used to be. That's no longer supported, so that's out of the picture. So yeah, we kind of did. Oh, I'm forgetting a .NET IDE, maybe, but those are the most prevalent.
And it hasn't crashed so far.
It hasn't. That's right.
Knock on wood.
I'm not trying to figure out where my error is by dissecting this construct and see if this adds up. So this is now a trivia list. And eventually we create a token here with the trivia list. This doesn't fly, because the token needs a syntax kind, or a syntax trivia list with a syntax kind. Huh. Did we forget something from here? Oh yes, because there is now the namespace keyword and the true. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
I'm not sure. Maybe let's go back to SharpLab. What do we need? Because here, well, we are now in the world of.
Yeah.
We are in the first token.
Yeah.
So we just want to mutate the existing trivia list. Let's assume there is one, and add another item to that. Maybe we can meet halfway, since we do get the first token. And we insert a syntax trivia. So do we have a syntax trivia already? Syntax trivia. There we go. So let's move these. And we have our nullable trivia. Oh, I called this nullable trivia. This will be the nullable trivia. What's that actually? That's a nullable directive trivia syntax. This is the trivia. And we insert it here.
Okay.
And then we get a new list. Because everything is immutable, the changed list. Now we need to with leading trivia, replace that with the changed list, which means we get a a new token. So this will be the new token. Now we need to go. Oh, okay. I guess we need to. Do we need to? Yes, I guess we do. Now we need to go to the. We actually need to get a hold of these elements too. So this will be the first node. Oops. Var first token. And I can imagine there is an easier way.
Yep.
But
Well,
for now, let's get it working and then. So we have the new token. Now we need the new node. Syntax node, new node is the first node with token. Because that's just the first token. Do we need to insert? Can we replace a node? And we replace, since we got the first node, we replace the first node with our new token. Yes, please. Damn it, this doesn't work. Because old node. Oh, we pass in the old node. Oh, that's not index-based. We pass in the first node. Sorry, token. Yes, the first token. Actually, we replace token. I'm getting confused. Replace token. We pass in the original token with then the new token. Now we have a new node. Now we say on the document, replace node. No, that's not on the document. It's actually on the root, isn't it? Because we are on the root. Now on the root, we need to say, different idea?
No.
Replace
Can
node.
you tell me again what the difference
First
between
node.
the token and the node is? Because I got confused now as well.
Yes. So going back to SharpLab, we have 3 kinds of things in our syntax tree. We have, the big things are nodes and token, where nodes have children and token by nature are terminal. So they can't have children. So a token won't have another node. But all of them can have trivia, where tokens and nodes have impact on the IL, on the generated IL code. Trivia, however, not. Trivia such as comments and these nullable or these preprocessor directives, they are not part of the compilation. So if you take a look at the IL, we won't find trivia like comments or these preprocessor directives because, as the name suggests, those are preprocessor directives. So they are taken care of before the actual compilation. The comments, they're also not part of the source code, so we won't find them in IL as well. So there is another part of another tool could now convert these comments into some XML documents that get shipped with your libraries so that the consumer can still basically then at the consumer side now the code and the comments are combined again. An alternative is you link. There's also something like source link where you can, when I do F12, then actually download the original source code so that I can do this code navigation thing. So there's a lot of things you can do for via NuGet for consumers of libraries to make experience very great. But I'm digressing. Trivia is not part of the compilation. Only the nodes and tokens are. The tokens are terminal, leaves in this tree, so they can't have any more children. And nodes are nodes in the tree. They will have more children or may have more children.
And is that the only difference between them, or do they also serve different?
They also serve tokens usually are like keywords, like the struct keyword here and the read-only keyword here and the private keyword here. So keywords usually are token. But there can also be, I think there can also be other tokens. Semicolon. I think that's also a token. This thing will be a token. So all of the the basic building blocks. And when you then have build a hierarchy, these usually
Yep.
will be nodes. So this class declaration, this will be a node, because these class declarations will have field declarations in them, and method declarations where a constructor is just a special method, and property declarations where all of them are member declarations. So there's also a hierarchy. There's also an inheritance hierarchy to nodes and so on. Yeah, like this is a file scoped namespace node that has everything that comes afterward as a child node and so on. So with the nodes, you can really think of a tree, and the tokens are the leaves, which usually are keywords and like a question mark token. And if we do the dammit operator, then it's an exclamation point token and so on. And I think this is then this lambda, or this, well, it's not really a lambda here, but it's this get property token here. I think that's called equals to greater than token or something like this. Actually, how's this token called? Let's find out. Syntax tree. This will be the, yeah, equals greater than token. But then in a C# perspective, if we have on the left-hand side this property declaration, and on the right-hand side this expression where we return this field, now gives semantic meaning to this syntax.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay. Thank you for explaining.
And
that makes sense when we like, so because we're climbing through the tree step by step onto the different
up and down, yeah.
down. Yeah.
And now we have our new root, I think, which we are now
Okay.
in the document. We document. We can say with syntax root, where we now say that let's give it a new root.
Yep.
Which means we have our new document, where we now in the project can we replace a document? Something with document. Remove document.
No.
Add document. I go cheating again in our globalizer.
Yeah.
How did we replace the document? Oh, we do this via the solution. Because in the solution, we can say with document syntax root, where we pass in the document ID.
Yeah.
And but we currently don't have a solution, do we? Oh, hold on. Yeah, wait a minute. That's the solution part. We're still at the project level. Wait a minute. Do we always have a solution? This is private. We always have a solution. Yeah. Oh, so we just get the project. Okay. Oops. So we get a solution. Okay. Even if we pass a project, we get the solution nevertheless. And then at the end, just get this project again after solution. Okay, so we need to do this via the solution. Okay. I would have totally forgotten that. Well, I did totally forget that. Okay, well, so we solution equals to, yes. And now we ask the solution to, what of this? With document syntax root. We pass in the ID of the project. It's actually, I need to pay more attention to auto-completion. We used Fleet so long where there's not too much. There it is. That's 100% correct. Yes. No, it's not. It takes a document ID. Oh, there is also a preservation mode.
Does Fleet not have autocomplete? Did I forget that?
Yes. No, this is. Oh, it's a document ID, not a project ID. There we go. Yeah. And now we have a new solution. I guess let's just overwrite the existing solution. We won't need the old one anymore. And now at the end, we get the solution. We get the project with the original project.id out of that new solution. And this could be null. Damn it. Well, we're fairly certain that we don't remove it. So yeah, we're certain this exists. But we are in a loop of documents. So we need to pull the solution out of there, because we'll be modifying the solution in this loop. New solution, new solution, new solution. At the end, oh, hold on, this is, yes, at the end, we then grab the modified project. So this will be the new project. And this may work or may not. That's fine.
Okay. How confident are you from 1 to 10?
Yoi! 50%.
15?
50-50.
50-50. Okay. Well, you have.
Well, other than we did an enable rather than a disable. And we have, there is also new line trivia that we apparently totally evaporate. We're almost there.
Oh, okay.
So we seem to evaporate. Yeah, because that's also trivia. End of line. End of line is trivia.
I remember that very well.
C# is.
I think we have problems with that before.
Python spacing is important. C#, it's irrelevant. We could put this all in a single line because we are not. We never want to ever be able to read this code again, and we will find out that the syntax tree now is different. So we have a different syntax, but the semantics, we will see that the resulting IL code is exactly the same. Oh, there's also namespace. And also some nullable trivias. Can we actually do this too? I'm not sure about trivia. They need to. Is this possible? No, it's not. So, okay, just trivia, they need to be on a line each. But this is just how trivia is. The non-trivia stuff, all in one line. Same code. If we decompile it, we still get the original because, compiler just decompiles it.
So C# doesn't care about the new lines, but we do because we're comparing to.
Because it would be cool to not mess up the original new lines or spacings that the original document had. We don't want to make it less readable. So we should preserve them. We shouldn't. And I think this is why somewhere there is this preserve mode where we can maybe enable preserving existing trivia. Okay, do we still need that? No, I don't think so. Solution. What was the first thing? Oh yeah, first we do it wrong because we do create we want to do apparently a disable keyword.
Okay.
So this should be, also, that's this disable keyword. This is, I think this is also no, that's a token. Yes, this is also a token. Like usually keywords, all of the keywords, I think all of the keywords are tokens in the tree.
Okay.
Because you don't have a hierarchy of keywords. Want to run the tests? And now we are right. Oh no, there needs to be spacing in there.
Yep. And a new line at the end.
How do we do that? Can we do not normalize white spaces here? I'm not sure. I think this is not the most performant thing to do.
What did you do? Was that?
Oh, I clicked something with search. I don't think this is the most performant thing to do, but okay.
What?
already seems to work. We now get some other errors.
Oh,
So
good.
actually, but okay. So the
Good catch.
thing is the documents that we compare the documents. Why does this pass? No, only because I did. Because I did normalize white spaces here. Does this nullable trivia now also has the new line at the end? Okay, that seems to fix more than I expected. It also seems to do the new line thing that we had earlier the problem with.
Perfect.
Because now we're at document 6 and we add the nullable disable to auto-generated code.
Okay.
How do we filter these? Because we go through our documents that are clearly not generated. Oh, yeah. Then there we go. Yeah,
Why?
because we iterate there, but we so we do the document. Yeah, we do this regardless. I should have inserted this into the if condition here. Now this may get a little bit too nested. I'll just do a continue here to continue the loop, and then afterwards increase the count. And yeah, so if it's not generated code, we continue. No, now we do. If it is generated code, continue. Don't
don't count it.
Yes, just stop here. But next.
Wait. And then it's yes, got it. Yep.
And since we're for each,
we
can use continue to go to the next element in this enumerator. Because what's happening under the hood is we actually, for each, gets the enumerator, and for each item in the enumerator, it calls move next, and if move next is true, then we enter the loop and get the current object, and move next is false, then we stop. And with continue, we can control this. Is it really a state machine? No, it's not really a state machine, but this loop,
yeah.
And exit. If we would do return, we would return out of the entire method. But with continue, just in the parent for each node loop.
All right, let's see what update.
And now I'm 90% certain.
90%. Oh my god, this is
green.
Yay! Cool. Good job.
Oops. Now I'm applying the. Now I'm using the fleet keyword shortcuts all the time. Now I have the other problem. I actually get a warning there. It briefly showed that you can't see this window.
Yep.
Is it when you click into that?
I think I accidentally followed. I followed
when you yes, get some key. So okay. I see that you are following.
I think those things are just really, really cute. They're tiny little bits, and that's like a positive thing about this. Code with me. Yeah.
Oops. I need to get used now to wider shortcuts again. Well, in this setup, because I'm now in the streaming mode, there is fleet shortcuts.
I know.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Cool. We have passing test. So we do now. Well, we still have one thing missing to set the project level thing. Do you still want to do that? Because we're already approaching third hour. Or is this for the next time?
I think it might be for the next time.
Okay. Then.
Well, how long would it take though? Like, I'm so bad at this. I just can't ever stop,
well, implementing it is super quick. I think we don't really assert it yet and set it up yet. So yes, the infrastructure the testability takes longer than the implementing part.
And you just want to implement it?
Well, first we need to get the testing right. So if we just implement it, that would be easy. Well, you know what? Let's implement it and then we do the testing. Yeah. Next time. Because what we would be doing is, since we kind of have this code already, we go to the...
Is it a good sign if your viewers are
I don't know. well, they're respectful of time, actually. Well, it's good. I would say so. Yes,
that would actually mean
actually means they care. So yes, it's a good sign.
They care about us leaving.
Stop it already. God damn it. What we will be doing is, because we kind of do this already, of the project, we mutate the parse options and then just get a new project again. So, but not with language options, but something like with nullability options that, this is compilation options, right? With nullable context options, where we now have those 4 options available, and I think all the combinations. So this is a flags, because we can compare, combine. If we do, disable is disabled, we have the warnings and the annotations, and if we do both warnings and annotations, then it's just enable. And this mirrors exactly what we can do. Oops, this is code. We can do nullable disable. Well, this is now on a document level. Actually, since this is on a project level, we would be mirroring this here. Enable. We have disable here. If we just do warnings here, if we do annotations here, and if we do enable, then it's both warnings and annotations. And yeah, this is exactly where we'll continue next time. But yeah, we kind of tend to do one more thing and one more thing, and then it's tomorrow.
No, yeah, of course, you're absolutely right. And yeah, I was just joking. It's a good thing, because people, I think it's really difficult also to follow a long coding stream, because it's sometimes, if you get a glass of water within three files ahead. So yeah, no, I guess it's time to call it a day. But I'm still happy. We got some green tests. I made some link things and for each loops, and I did some things.
I'm happy that this works.
Didn't do much. You did all the Rosses. You did all heavy lifting as
I couldn't see understand it fully. If I look at this in 5 minutes again, I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah. So we can't really blame ourselves that stuff that we did a year ago we didn't recognize, because we look at 5 minutes later and it's really, really difficult. Does that make sense? No, I'm not making sense anymore. Okay.
It does.
Good. Well, but no, absolutely, you're right. And thank you guys so much for, again, stopping by, spending the evening with us, and helping us out as per usual. We're really dependent on your help, because sometimes we get stuck. Even Stefan gets stuck. I get stuck on minor things, but even Stefan gets stuck every now and again.
If you mean sometimes all of the time, then yeah.
Yeah, and we learned some French today.
On peut.
So I think it was a good day. I'm happy. How about you?
Oui.
So
what's a good day? Or it's not only my setting accents, also using the correct article is random, pure random.
Okay.
Or bonjour, bon, something like this.
All right. Well, I guess when are we? When will we be back?
We'll be back in 2 weeks, right? I'm trying to find the shortcut. There we go. In almost 2 weeks, in less than 2 weeks. On Tuesday, next time on Tuesday, on August the 13th, at the same time. And we will continue exactly where we left off, doing something with nullability contexts.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, then I guess from my side, merci for watching, and bonne nuit.
Also, merci beaucoup to all the audience.
Why are you asking me? I don't know.
I don't know.
I was only French. No, it's a beautiful language, but unfortunately, I never learned it. I don't speak many languages.
Should we do this more often?
Speak French? Oh,
no. No. Let this be the only. Mon français est really très mauvais. Let's be this the first. Maybe one per season.
Okay. Or we can do Spanish next.
I don't know any Spanish.
Well, we'll learn next time.
Yeah, next time in almost 2 weeks. Thank you very much for joining, and we'll be back.